Okay, welcome to Module 3. Module 3 is all about creating content. All right? And this is a very important module because the content that you will learn how to create is really going to be the basis for how you will advertise and promote your website. Content meaning articles, videos, even podcasts. All right? Content is now really the new advertising. All right? Instead of traditional type of advertising, and instead of the traditional separation between editorial content and advertising, that's kind of gone the way of the dinosaur. I was in magazines for many years, and in magazines and newspapers, articles and photographs were the content, the editorial content, and then you had advertising. Okay? Now you're going to use the editorial content to attract people the way advertising used to. You're going to use it to attract people to come to your website. Okay? So you're going to create this content and post it on external websites. Okay? You can place or post all kinds of content for free on all kinds of websites. In our database that we'll take a look at, we're going to show you all the websites that we use, the websites that we've put together over the last couple of years. Okay? So what you're going to want to do is to create interesting content, interesting articles or videos or podcasts about your product or service. All right? Not about your company necessarily, but about topics of interest to people that are related to what you do. All right, for example, again, my Italian restaurant. Maybe I'd write articles about the different types of dishes, make videos, would be even better. Make a video on how to make lasagna, how to make spaghetti and meatballs, whatever. Okay? Interesting things that people want to take a look at. Okay? Because every time somebody goes to the internet, what are they doing? They're looking for information. And they're looking for all kinds of information. You might think, oh, people aren't going to be interested in what I'm doing, but you're wrong. All right? There's billions of searches done every month and millions of people doing them, and they're looking for all kinds of information. So this is why you want to create as much content as you can about your company. All right? As much content as you have time to create. Okay? And there are other ways you can get content you can use, and I'm going to show you these as well. You don't have to create all of it yourself. All right? So really what you want to do is to create content and distribute it. That's the most important thing. Okay? And in doing that, you're going to run into issues involving copyright that maybe you hadn't thought of, but in previous times, and currently still, of course, with magazines, but and newspapers, if you printed something in a magazine, you wouldn't want anybody else to print it. Why? Well, because you want them to come to your magazine to have to read it. Right? Because that's where your advertisers are, and that's where you make your money. Okay? And also people buy the magazines or newspapers, you make money there. But you don't want a bunch of people using your articles or photographs or whatever. Okay? It's all different on the internet. I want as many people as possible to see my articles. Okay? And I don't really care who uses them or why they're going to use them, pretty much. For example, I have a restaurant here that was a client of mine, and I produced a restaurant review, and I put it on a bunch of websites. I put it all over the place. And it helped him to have a very dominant position in the search engine results pages. He was on the top 10 with multiple listings for a lot of different terms. What happened eventually, and I put a Google alert on his website, by the way. I'll tell you what Google alert is a little later, but it's a way for you to keep up on a topic that you're interested in, your own website. What Google does, in fact, I'll tell you right now, what Google does is they look around the internet for these terms, and if you put the name of your business, for example, into Google Alerts, they will send you an email every time they find something about your business on the internet, okay, on any web page. So I did this with my client. And every once in a while, maybe every once a week, sometimes more, sometimes once a month or whatever, I would get a Google alert. Okay, and I started getting them from pages that I had never seen before, websites I'd never seen before. I didn't put the article on these sites. What happened was somebody went to one of the sites where I did put the article, and they copied it, and they put it on their site. Okay, which normally, you would say, oh, they're stealing my material. Well, yeah, they kind of were, but you know what? I didn't care because it was a review about the restaurant. What they were doing was giving me free advertising, basically. Okay? Now, if you wrote a generic article about Italian restaurants and somebody stole it and passed it off as their own, you wouldn't be real happy about it. Okay? But this is different. This was about my business, my client's business. And so the more places it shows up, the better. So let's go take a look now, and I want to show you examples of how copyright can work for you or against you on the internet now.